You're listening to The Morning Show, streamed by clicking the WHOW live icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. My guest in studio, Dr. Robert Shoaff, is the executive director of Little Galilee Christian Camp here in Clinton. Dr. Shoaff, good to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, great. Good to be back. Yeah,
thanks.
Good.
Good. Thanks for coming out and talking with us. Always good to have you. And Little Galilee, man, the winter retreat season is in full swing, and I know your next big kind of event is the Midnight Madness that you do for New Year's. What's going on there?
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's a lot of fun. We just put stuff out on the website. We've got registrations ready, but Midnight Madness is like, we call it that. It's our New Year's Eve celebration for junior high kids. And so Max Aper, our program director, and Lexi Peterson is our program director, or our retreat coordinator, are going to be the deans of that. And so it's an all-night lock-in for junior high students to celebrate New Year's. So there's going to be like a glow party with inflatables, so black lights and wear neon and all of that type of a thing. The inflatable games, 9 square, bazooka ball, which is really cool. I was telling you, you take the paintball guns and they're modified where you take those little stress balls that are real spongy, and it's kind of like tag. It doesn't hurt. Nobody can get injured. So we're playing bazooka ball, glow in the dark mini golf, dodgeball, tons of food. Wow. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's going to be December 31st through January 1st. Again, it's New Year's Eve from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Gotcha.
So it's an all-nighter. Yeah.
Man, oh man. And you were telling me like hardly anybody actually sleeps because there's so much going on.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Well, part of the thing too is, I mean, if people want to sleep, they obviously can, but there's so much activity and everything happening, and we're talking junior high kids. It's high energy anyway. So
sure.
Yeah.
So registration is that open now then?
Yeah, you can go online to littlegalilee.com, and right on the front on the homepage, you'll see a little box that says Midnight Madness. Click on that and it'll take you right to the registration. It'll tell you everything, what you need to bring, what you can prepare for. It's all there online.
Very good. So check that out. And you mentioned to me that you don't put a cap on your registration, do you?
No, not at all. We want to fill the place and get as many kids that want to come on out, whether you are a youth minister and you're thinking of something for your junior high youth group, or you're just a parent, or just even, you're a junior high kid and you got a bunch of friends you want to go and have a good time. We just want to make it open and available to all those junior high kids that want to come out.
Now, do you see actual youth groups come as a unit?
Yeah, I mean, we've organized in the past different area youth ministers to be able to bring their youth groups and stuff. And so in the past, we've done things with high schoolers as well, high school and junior high. Sometimes with the age difference and maturity difference between the two groups doesn't always gel really well. So we'll divide them into two different groups. And so this year, we're just going to go hard after it for the junior high kids.
Gotcha.
Because that's really the group that's growing, and we're seeing a lot more junior high campers, junior high students coming out for that.
Interesting stuff. And it just gives not only parents but kids a safe, parents the peace of mind, and kids the safe place to be. I mean, we know all the trouble that kids can get into. They don't even have to be out to get in trouble these days. I mean, these cell phones, they do enough to get us in trouble. Yeah. So it's a safe place.
Yeah, absolutely. And out there at the camp, it's well supervised. There's a lot of adults that are there, people that are in ministry. We have some of our youth ministers and ministry partners that come and also take place in that. So yeah, I mean, New Year's Eve is kind of it's always that touchy night of the year for a lot of people because of the different parties and things that go on, but especially for kids, that they're out there and experimenting and doing different things. And so this is an opportunity to come out and have some positivity, get involved in a group, have a lot of fun, and be completely safe, because once the kids arrive, they do not leave.
Yeah. Well, it is, Dr. Shoaff, I'm curious about this. It is a Christian camp, obviously.
Yes.
How much of a religious component, devotional things, are there things of that nature? That come with
I
this?
mean, obviously, because what we do, everything that we do, we want to keep a kingdom focus and kingdom oriented. And so there will be, a little bit of that, but we don't, the point of it is to bring people in, to introduce them to a good positive environment, to give them Jesus, if I can use that terminology. But it's not like you're not going to come and get beat over the head with the Bible, if that's what people are looking for. But at the same time, you are going to hear some scripture. You are going to understand, from the newness of the year and how that applies to our lives holistically, which means spiritually, physically, emotionally, all of those things, that bring it in. And so, yeah, we definitely have a Christian focus. It's Christian oriented. Everything that we do is centered on Jesus Christ. And so, but we come together too, and we have specific time for those, within the programming that we develop those things.
Very good. So can special accommodations be made if there's a student that needs to leave or something of that nature, if there's that circumstance that arises?
Yeah, I mean, yes, if there is a circumstance that a parent needs to come and pick their kid up, or we don't obviously let them come and go on their own, but if we do have a parent, I would say that before the event would happen, just give us a call at the office. If someone's listening and you'd like to do that, all the office information and everything there is on the website for what to do, contact information. But if you have more questions about this too, the office is 217-935-3809.
Sure. Very good. So put that on the calendar. And again, the website to get registered, where do they go?
littlegalilee.com. It's little, Little Galillee.com.
Awesome. That is, again, Dr. Robert Shoaff. He is the executive director of Little Galilee Christian Camp here in Clinton. Well, what else is on your radar in the calendar? What do you have coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, this is really a cool time of the season because we've got, with the holidays approaching and everything around us as well. We've got Thanksgiving right around the corner, and then also Christmas time. We're going to have, families taking breaks, our winter break. We have our winter retreats as well. So with Midnight Madness, that's that one big activity, huge activity for junior high kids. But we also have coming up in January and February, we have opportunities for everyone from first grade all the way through kindergarten. And so January 28th and 29th, we have our 4th and 5th grade retreat. On January 7th and 8th, that will be our junior high retreat. January 21st and 22nd will be our high school retreat. But then on February 4th and 5th will be our 1st through 3rd grade retreat as well. And so you can find out all kind of that same information if you do go to that website on our homepage. We have all of our activities are in our small little boxes. They almost look like mini flyers on the website. If you click on each and every one of them, it'll take you to all of the specific information, who the deans are, who are the people going to be in charge, what to bring, how much is the retreat, what's going to be provided as far as food and accommodations. So you can find all of that stuff at littlegalilee.com.
Gotcha. Very good. And with the retreat that is specific to those age groups, especially the youth, I mean, what are you doing with the kids? Is it fun focused? Is it, is there a growth focus? Like, what are you focusing on there?
Yeah, it is. It's a really great combination of both. I mean, again, like I said about Midnight Madness, we are a Christian camp. So we are centrally Christ focused. But out of being Christ focused, it's not just sitting down in a circle holding hands and praying the whole time. It's a really good opportunity to come and have a great time that is positive, it's uplifting, it's kingdom oriented. And so a lot of people, I think even today, without getting too much into it in the United States, have a certain idea of who Christians are. We tend to know like everything that Christians are against, right?
Right.
Well, this is an opportunity to show, these young people just the love of Christ that's seen through the service attitude and the fun that we're able to have. That again it's safe and it's uplifting to the individual, but also to the community and the group, and it gives that focus and glory to Christ as well. Because in all of these retreats, we do have a certain focused time where there is devotion or there is a prayer time or something like that. But again, it's not we're not sitting around on blankets holding hands.
Singing Kumbaya all day.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So it's not that at all. So it's a ton of fun, but mixed into all of that are biblical, strong, theologically focused elements to bring about the whole the theme
Sure.
of the experience
Gotcha.
as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with the winter retreat season, like, is there a time of the winter that is just very busy? Like, it's the busiest. You've got people in and out all the time. How about that?
Yeah, I tell you, of course, that I mean, COVID-19 has changed a lot of that stuff up, and so what we normally had, scheduled for the spring, had to be canceled or rerouted to the fall. So pretty much since the beginning of August, when we finished our summer camp season, we went right into Labor Day. We have had people in groups out at the camp pretty much every single weekend. And so we've been really busy this fall. But when it comes to our retreats, generally our retreat time focus, especially for youth, is during that Christmas break when kids are out of school. For Thanksgiving, a lot of people travel out and that type of a thing. And so we really try to focus more in that, December and January. You'll see February, retreats as well.
Do you do any like outreach, giving back type of things, meals for people during Thanksgiving, Christmas time? Is that at all on your radar?
We have not done that. A lot of what we try to do too is we exist to partner with the local churches that are in Central Illinois. We said, a little while ago, we have churches that are all the way in the Chicago area, clear down to the south in Pana, all the way close over to Springfield. I wouldn't really say St. Louis area, but close to Springfield, clear east to Danville, Illinois. And so with all of the different churches and their programs to be able to help people, we try to help where it's necessary and needed.
I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Dr. Shoaff, I look at the clock. Let's take a break here. How do folks learn more about all the things you've got going on these days?
Yeah, check us out on our website at littlegalilee.com. You can find us on Facebook as well at Little Galilee Christian Camp.
Very good. That's Dr. Robert Shoaff. He's the executive director of Little Galilee Christian Camp here in Clinton. We've got more with him on the way on the WHOW Morning Show.
You're listening to The Morning Show, streamed by clicking the WHOW live icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence, and my guest in studio, Dr. Robert Shoaff. He is the executive director of Little Galilee Christian Camp here in Clinton. And Dr. Shoaff, in the break, we got to talking about already thinking about summer. I mean, it feels like you just came in for the first time a few months ago, and we're gearing up for the winter retreat season, and here we are talking about summer.
Yeah,
What comes to mind there?
It's never too early to talk about summer. I mean, we we have over 10 weeks. We usually have nearly 50 different summer sessions. And so in order for those sessions to take place, we really rely upon our deans and counselors, and of course our summer staff to make sure that those things are taking place. So right now, Max Aper is our program director. He's been doing a fantastic job of reaching out to our previous deans and also looking for new deans to be able to come in and take over some of the different session programming. We still have some blanks, and I wish I had it, right at the top of my head, which areas we're still looking for, but we've got a couple of sessions that we're still looking to fill as well. But if you're interested, out there, especially if you're involved with one of our churches and you like to, look into becoming a counselor or a volunteer, volunteer counselor, volunteer dean, give us a call and speak to Max Aper.
Yeah. How do you generally, because I remember when I was a kid going to Little Galilee, the dean would be, maybe it'd be a local guy, maybe it'd be somebody from a church somewhere, and there would be a big group that followed that individual to camp that particular week. How do you come, do you seek out those individuals? You mentioned that you can apply for that. How does that all come about?
Yeah. It really, the way that we like to do with our deans come through relationships. I mean, we got to kind of know who you are. We don't just want to have anybody coming off the street, obviously, to take a whole week-long session with our campers. And so over that 10-week period, we see approximately 2,000 youth campers, ranging from first grade through high school. So to be able to be a dean, one, it's generally our deans come from all of our area Christian churches or churches of Christ, because they are considered to be our partner, our member churches. But then those deans usually bring in their people to be counselors. All of our deans, our counselors, our staff, our summer staff, we've all gone through extensive background checks as well. So making sure that safety of all ways you can understand safety has been fully looked into and checked on.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. So counselors, you mentioned that you're always in need of those. Like, what do you want your counselor to student ratio to be? How many do you need for a camp?
Yeah, that usually depends upon the session and how big that session is. So we have day sessions, half week sessions, overnight sessions, and full week sessions. And so what our ratio is generally when we have our counselor to camper, I believe if we look at a full week, we like to have at least one counselor to every 7 campers, because that's a pretty good rounded number.
And you need a lot of counselors then.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And again, depending on the session, because we can have a session, for example, like Outpost. It's one of our camp sessions that is. It's made small on purpose. And so if we only have, 12 to 15 campers, we don't need 15 counselors, we could do, with 4 or, 5 really at the most. Sure. with that type of a group.
Do counselors work just a certain session or do they work the whole summer?
It just depends. Normally our counselors aren't there for the full summer. They come in for different sessions because it is volunteer, and most people, just because the kids get off of school, most adults still have to go to work.
Right.
So they're taking time, to take time off of work to be able to come in. And so we do have some counselors that do multiple weeks. We also have nurses as well that are, they're nurses or they're fire rescue people. They're taking off to come out to volunteer. So we've always got nurses on the campgrounds as well, people that are, because accidents do happen.
Yeah.
Now our summer staff, they come in and it's a summer job.
And what's the difference between like counselors and summer staff?
Yeah, good question. A counselor is someone who comes basically for a specific session. So for example, if I'm going to be the dean of a high school week of camp and I say, Seth, you want to come and be a counselor? And you say, yeah, great. So you would come to that particular week of camp. And generally a counselor is involved in becoming like the leader of a small group. We call them family groups or just however the dean decides to call that. And you would be involved in leading that. We like to have both male and female because our groups become mixed with boys and girls, young men, young women. And so when it comes to different things and you're dealing with emotional things and stuff, maybe you've got baggage at home, that person can be, you build that relationship because again, it's Christ focused and Christ centered. And so what we would really like our campers to see in our counselors is that really that Christian lifestyle and what it means to be loving, to be kind, to be gentle. What does faithfulness look like? You know, that type of a thing. And so a counselor really takes that role. Counselors also act as kind of like dorm parents at night.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if you got homesickness, or if somebody gets sick in the night or anything like that, those people are there, and it provides another area of safety. We just don't throw 30 kids in a cabin and say good night, we'll see you in the morning.
Right,
We put adults, and those counselors also stay in with our campers as well.
Now, how about summer staff? What do they do?
Yeah, summer staff is completely different. We use our summer staff as our large activity facilitators. So if we do our high ropes or our zip lines, our swimming pool, the lake, the giant swing, they're all like certified. So we go through training before camp season ever starts, and they're trained specifically to do that. We do in-house lifeguard training. And so again, Max Aper, our program director, is certified to be able not only to be a lifeguard, but to train lifeguards as well. And I believe that's all done through the YMCA, and then also the CPR is done through the Red Cross.
Right.
So they do those things, and so they work, every single day, whether they are, in the different zones for those large activity times. They also work in a kitchen, so we need kitchen staff because we're serving all these campers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we need people that are in the kitchen as well. We also have, all kinds of various other jobs that come up on campground.
Well, maybe next month, Dr. Shoaff will dive more into that. LittleGalilee.com, the website, correct?
That's correct. If you want to be a summer staff, we have a link that you can check out.
Sure.
If you're 18 to 20 something, look at that and hit us up.
That's Dr. Robert Shoaff, Executive Director of Little Galilee Christian Camp in Clinton.